What's up, everybody? Noble Comics here with the next round of the Tournament of Power. Today we have Hulk versus Larfleeze from DC Comics. We're going to look at their abilities, their talents, their stats, their skills, and ultimately who would win if they were to fight. But first, the results of the last match, which was Goku versus Doomsday. Goku will be moving forward. You all voted for him, and he will go on to the next match. But enough about that. Let's get into today's fight. So, Hulk versus Larfleeze. This is an interesting one. Two very different characters, two very different fighting styles. Interesting to see what will happen if they go toe-to-toe. So let's just jump into them, and I will start with Larfleeze. Now, Larfleeze, if you don't know, is the Orange Lantern. He's the only Orange Lantern for the most part, and that emotion tied with the Orange Lantern is greed. He's a greedy little guy. He wants all the Orange Lantern rings to himself, and that's why there's really only one. But it's not quite fair to say that he's alone, because every time he defeats an enemy, they join him inside his lantern ring that he can then whip out and use during a fight to help him attack. That said, he is incredibly powerful because he's an entire lantern core in one. And we've seen this before various times. He's fought against multiple different lanterns at once. He usually is clobbering them. And not just lanterns, he has fought against the Guardians of the Universe before, and they obviously perceived him as a threat, knew that they would be destroyed by him, knew that he is one of the most powerful lanterns of any color in the entire DC universe. He's fought and defeated Atrocitus, he's fought Hal Jordan a number of times, including when Hal Jordan had both the green and blue lantern ring and he was still beating the crap out of him. He has also fought and resisted the embodiment of greed, his own emotional entity for the Orange Lantern Ring, which is very impressive because those entities are extremely powerful, like Ion, like Parallax, etc. And Larfleeze was able to fight against him and resist his control. He's also fought numerous Black Lanterns at once and defeated them. Essentially, any lantern that he goes up against, he's pretty much going to win. There's been few times whenever he's been able to be stopped by a single person, especially because, again, he fights the Guardians, he fights Hal Jordan, he fights John Stewart, sometimes all at once, and he's still just this unbridled, super powerful being. And again, I gotta stress, he's an entire lantern core in one. That's why he's so powerful. And his emotion of greed is so powerful. And he can easily overwhelm his opponents by having an entire army fight with him whenever he's fighting. He also acts as his own power battery and can like supercharge his ring to be even more powerful, as if he needs any help in that department. Obviously, when it comes to speed, for example, he's on par with all these characters that I've mentioned. He's incredibly fast, faster than light, all that good comic book stuff. Durability wise, again, he's taken hits from Hal Jordan with both blue and green lantern rings. He's taken hits from like Sinestro, like Atrocitus, like the Guardians of the Universe, like multiple lantern cores at once, and his greed, corrupt influence that he has is so strong that it's even overpowered Hal Jordan, who has probably the strongest willpower of any lantern in history. So he's not that easy to kill, and also even if you did try and kill him, every cell of his body is made up of like lantern energy. That's how ingrained it is into him. And again, I can't stress enough how powerful he is. And he's got the same skills that, any lantern has, creating constructs, shooting lasers, and things like that. But even more so because, again, he's creating his own army of the people he's defeated, trapped in his ring. His corruptive influence is incredibly strong. He's able to absorb the energy of other lanterns. For example, he's absorbing and destroying Green Lantern constructs and stuff like that. So he's like the biggest enemy that a lantern could conceive of, and can single-handedly wreak havoc against Galaxy Plus universal level characters. And on the other end, we have the Hulk. Now, when I talk about the Hulk, I'm going to be touching the most on Immortal Hulk. Now, the Hulk has had many different versions over the years, but for the most part, it has been a linear progression, especially recently, because we saw him go from World War Hulk, following that storyline, where he was at his most powerful at the time, rivaling Sentry. And then he went to World Breaker Hulk, where like a mere step sunk the entire east coast of the United States, and just him being there would destroy the planet. Past that, though, we got the Immortal Hulk, which is more powerful than any form we've seen before, and has been incredibly impressive. For example, we've seen the Immortal Hulk one-shot Thor, literally just one-shot punch him in the head, and Thor was out. That was the end of the fight. And I do want to say, I think that this is lowballing Thor a little bit. He didn't have his hammer with him or anything. But still, the power of the character is shown. Thor comments that Hulk is much more powerful than before. And we see more evidence of this, right? Because, again, World War Hulk was like stalemating Sentry. In this one, Immortal Hulk throws a punch and it takes both Sentry's hands, right, trying to brace and catch that attack from the Hulk, giving insight that he's more powerful than he was before. Again, another direct comparison. We saw Hercules go toe-to-toe with Worldbreaker Hulk. Really good fight. The two are slugging it out, and obviously the Hulk wins. But Immortal Hulk, Hercules is like a gnat that he's just shrugging off and flicking away, easily trashing both him and Jane Foster Thor at the same time, no problem. He's also able to hit so hard, it overloaded Black Panther's vibranium suit, which is supposed to absorb energy, right? Which is supposed to be impossible, but Hulk overloaded it with like one hit. He also was able to trash a Hulk Buster in one hit, and he easily trashed people like the Red Hulk, so he's obviously just way stronger than before. He's also able to drain the Red Hulk of his gamma radiation. We've seen him do that multiple times throughout Immortal Hulk, draining people's gamma radiation, making himself stronger. At that point, there is literally no one left on the Avengers, anybody who can stop him. And again, that said, we can look back at some of his other feats, like in World War Hulk, where he holds an entire planet together by its tectonic plates to keep it from ripping in half. And he essentially fights and defeats the entirety of Earth's heroes, from, again, Hercules to Colossus, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Sentry. Everybody that the Earth could throw at him who was there, Hulk was beating. There was no stopping the guy. And then he went one step further, right? Worldbreaker Hulk, whose mere presence was like a nuclear bomb going off. And again, just him being there was enough to destroy the planet. And now Immortal Hulk, even more so. We've seen Immortal Hulk do crazy stuff. Like, the one feat people pull out often with this character is that he dispersed the one below all. And if that doesn't make any sense to you, in Marvel, there's a character called the One Above All. And this is essentially God, capital G, the most powerful, all-powerful character that Marvel has to offer, a truly omnipotent character. And the one below all is supposed to be his equal and opposite. So again, he's the most powerful being ever, like true Satan, essentially. Though on the evil spectrum instead of the good spectrum, like the one above all. And the one below all was messing with the Hulk, essentially, and he like thunderclapped and dispersed the one below all away from him. Which is like, I don't know how you rank that, because I'm like, technically that feels like that's an outerversal whatever feat, but I don't know how much of that was voluntary on the one below all leaving at that point or what. So I think that's hard to scale. Regardless though, we know he is extremely powerful. And not just his strength that I've been talking about is increased, his durability is also increased. Like, Weapon H tries to scratch the Hulk with his giant adamantium claws, and it like barely scratches him. An adamantium scalpel with a hydraulic press pressing down on it can not cut his skin. Like a direct stab with adamantium claws, again, can barely pierce him. He's way stronger than before, way more durable. And not only that, if he is split apart, we've seen him when he's like cut into multiple pieces, like his hand is in one jar, his head's in another jar. He can control all his limbs remotely, break out, and then reform and come back together and come back to life. He truly is immortal at this point. Speed-wise, we've seen him blitz the Sentry, tackles him out of a building. He's obviously extremely fast. He dodges some lasers and stuff like that from people like the Vision. And again, even if he was hit, he'll just heal. Even if you do destroy him, he'll just come back to life. Again, he's really just unstoppable at this point. And he's a lot smarter. This version of Hulk is a lot smarter than previous versions of the Hulk. He is, without a doubt, the most impressive Hulk incarnation we've had yet. So, what would happen if these two actually fight? They meet up, they recognize each other as enemies, and they need to fight. Well, let's compare the stats here. Strength-wise, obviously, the Hulk is the strongest there is. He's got better strength. Speed-wise, I think it's hard to say. It's probably Larfleeze when it comes to speed, but the Hulk is obviously very fast, where I don't think speed will be that big of an issue. Durability-wise is hard to say. Larfleeze is obviously extremely durable. He has a lot of energy absorption that he can do to avoid attacks from other lanterns. He's taken huge attacks from very powerful beings, but so has the Hulk. Hulk, again, went from being rocked by Hercules, the physically strongest character in Marvel, supposedly, to shrugging the guy off like an ant. Coming back to life from all sorts of devastating attacks and, again, being cut into different pieces and annihilated, he always comes back, which would lead me to believe that he has superior durability. Intelligence, I'd say it's probably the Hulk also, but when it comes to any sort of energy attack, obviously Larfleeze has the advantage there. He definitely has the versatility advantage as well. So if they were to fight, I definitely see Larfleeze taking the charge against the Hulk, flying at him with his ring, releasing, his little army of people all wailing on him at once, which I imagine would be extremely effective. And again, on top of that, he also has the range advantage, so he doesn't have to get up close to the Hulk to fight him, because he has a little army at his disposal, as well as just regular lantern, lasers, and constructs. However, I do believe that Hulk would survive this attack. I don't think Larfleeze would be able to put him down so easily. I'm betting that he can take just about anything that Larfleeze can put out, judging by his feats that we've seen so far. I think a big question is energy absorption. Like, can Larfleeze absorb the gamma radiation from the Hulk, depowering him? Can the Hulk absorb the energy of the Green Lantern constructs, negating them? I think that's kind of hard to say. I don't know exactly how that would work. Or I think it's going to be easiest if we just said that they counter one another. I know that doesn't really make sense, but for ease of argument, say that they counter one another, they cannot drain one another. And so it will just be more of an actual fight. Now, I like to look at the win conditions of each character and then how likely that is. Like, the win condition for Larfleeze, like I mentioned, is overpowering him with his different lantern constructs, for the most part keeping his distance, and wailing on him with everything that he's got, which again has rivaled that of the Guardians of the Universe, Black Lanterns, Hal Jordan, different characters like that. On Hulk's side, his win condition is powering through all those constructs, breaking through the constructs, and getting up close with Larfleeze and manhandling the guy, crushing him into the ground, and killing him that way. And so that said, I think Hulk is going to have the harder win condition to fulfill, because I think Larfleeze will be able to keep his distance more. He can fly around, and again, he's got so many ranged attacks. I think it will be harder for Hulk to get close, but not impossible. I think that Hulk could nail the guy. If he was able to blitz Sentry, I think that he would be able to nail Larfleeze and get in close. And I think up close, Hulk would dominate. Not to say that Larfleeze is useless, he would have powerful attacks, but I think Hulk is stronger. I think that he is more durable. I think he would be able to do serious damage to Larfleeze up close, because again, one-shotting people like Thor, destroying Red Hulk, destroying a Hulkbuster, shrugging off Lady Thor and Hercules like it's nothing. He also fought against one of the champions of the universe and was absolutely bodying that guy and taking extreme hits from him. It's definitely not a stretch to say that Hulk could take what Larfleeze dishes out and could dominate him. All of that said, I think that Larfleeze will have an easier time winning. I think that he has such an advantage in versatility. It'll be easier for him to win than it will be for Hulk to win. But I think that this version of the Hulk has been so impressive so far that he would be able to do it. Because though Larfleeze has many ranged attacks, he isn't the most intelligent person. His mind is overrun with greed, and I think that him getting up close is not unrealistic. I think he might just do that on his own. And if that's the case, I think Hulk holds an advantage there and would win. So there it is. I think Hulk's the winner. But you know what? It's not up to me. It's never up to me. You all get to vote. You all get to go to the communities page on my channel and vote for who you want to win and to move forward. So be sure to go do that. Let me know in the comments as well who you think would win. Be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.